This is Gabri, your host of Gem Radio, radio for women by women, and I am with Alex Hyde, owner of Sugar High, amazing bakery here in the Valley. So, Sugar High, tell me a little bit about it and kind of what the inspiration is there.
Well, I've always loved to cook and bake, and when I moved to the Valley, I decided to start my own business. I specialize in cheesecake. I have 49 different flavors of cheesecake on my menu currently, but I also make cakes and pies and tarts. It's just my favorite thing to do, and I've loved to share it with everyone.
49 flavors?
Of cheesecake, yes.
That is amazing. What are they? How do you come up with them? That's a lot of flavors.
It is a lot, but I find that there are so many different people with different tastes. They like different kinds of crusts and different kinds of toppings, fruit, chocolate, all different kinds of things. So I try to incorporate my most popular requests into my menu. And I've had a lot of different people ask for unusual things that I've never made before, and I try it out and it becomes a hit. And so I put it on the menu.
What is your favorite cake that you make?
My favorite cake that I make is my carrot cake. It's not the cheesecake. It's a regular carrot cake, but it's about 8 inches tall, 3 layers. It's delicious.
I've actually had the carrot cake. I got it for my husband because carrot cake is my husband's favorite cake as well. And I got it for him for his birthday one year. And I mean, I will attest to, it is a completely unbiased opinion here. It was not only the best cake I've ever had, the best carrot cake. I mean, it's delicious.
Thank you.
And I am tasting it right now as I'm talking about it.
Craving
it's like Pavlov's dogs.
Exactly. Crave it and come order one.
I should. We have a birthday coming up, so I think I will have to do that. And you do special order.
I do special order, yes. And everything I make is to order. So I don't have a storefront. I do have a commercial kitchen space, but I don't have a storefront. So you do have to call me and order something. I'd love to maybe someday have a storefront, but that's not in the cards right now. So I make everything fresh to order. I don't freeze anything. I don't make it really far in advance. It's fresh and delivered the day that you need it.
I know that you have some cakes at Cafe 163 in Edwards. Do you have them anywhere else?
I don't. Not right now. Just Cafe 163. They're keeping me very busy, which is wonderful. But I've been getting a lot of individual orders from that venue because people have my cake there and decide they want to order one for themselves. I do bake for a bunch of businesses around town as well that give my cakes as gifts to their clients.
What a good idea.
Yeah, that's been great, especially around the holiday season. They want to give those cakes as gifts to their clients for, Thanksgiving or Christmas or something like that. And then everything else is just individual orders, people that are having big parties. I have a lot of second homeowners that come into town either during ski season or during the summer that are having big soirees and parties, and they order from me. And then I have a couple of personal chefs that make, meals for their clients, but then get my desserts for their clients.
So you are a mother of 2 boys.
2 boys, yes.
2 boys, and they certainly keep you busy.
Very busy. They're 11 and 8, so they're busy.
So busy, and you have more than just Sugar High is not your only job. So how do you balance it all? I mean, where do you find time to do the things you need to do on a daily basis?
Well, I find that having several different jobs sort of gives me flexibility, believe it or not, because I can sort of piece my day together and figure out when I need to do what I need to do. I'm also the type of person that I get a lot more done the busier I am. If I have a lot of free time on my hands, I don't seem to get anything done. So I like to be really busy, and I'm a scheduler. I'm very organized. So I like to kind of plan my day out, and I do my baking when I can and, working around my other jobs, and it seems to work out great.
You certainly don't eat a lot of cake. So, and no one that's listening can see you, but you are not a giant cake eater.
Well, I'm also into fitness, so.
Sure. And maybe that's, so that you eat all the cake.
Exactly. I got to get it on both ends. Exactly.
Yeah. But what is your inspiration? I mean, when you're thinking about some creation, what inspires you?
I think about different flavors that I think would taste good together. I also will watch a ton of Food Network, believe it or not, and I get ideas from other chefs, and I think, oh, wow, I could incorporate that into something that I make, or, I change up recipes thinking about different ways to make the flavors, taste something new and different. But yes, I get a lot of inspiration from that. I read a lot of cooking magazines. For me, baking is calming and it's what I do to relax. So even if have no orders on the books and I'm just bored, I go bake. And it might be something that's not one of my desserts for Sugar High, but it might just be bread for my family, muffins, cookies. I love to bake. It's just what calms me. I can think about everything else I need to think about and think about my day and everything while I'm baking. So it's just the most relaxing thing that I can think to do. I know a lot of people don't feel that way, but for me, it comes second nature.
So when you're making a cake, two questions. When you're making a cake, are you using measuring spoons and measuring cups? I mean, is it exact that way, or do you have it down already?
I mean, my cheesecakes, I don't have to think about anymore. They're all in my memory, but as a rule, you should measure when you bake. Other kinds of cooking, you can do a dash of this and a splash of that, and it turns out great. It just changes up the flavor a little bit. But with baking, you really need to measure. Certainly when you're trying a new flavor of something, you get your basic cake batter down, and then if you want to add different things, that's one thing, or add different things to a cheesecake recipe. But for the most part, you have to measure most of the recipes. I do at altitude have to add a little bit of extra of certain things just to make it work at altitude. When I moved here, I had to change all of my cake recipes in order to make them work at altitude. So I had to trial and error, a lot of trial and error. My family was thrilled because I got to experiment on them, but just trying it over and over again until I could figure out how to make that same exact cake at altitude.
I mean, that, it is. It's hard to bake at altitude. And, the box cakes is pretty much what my family gets when I decide to bake. And they turn out okay, but I mean, they could certainly be much fluffier and or it's a little more dense than I think they need to be. But how about a cookbook? Can we expect a cookbook from you?
Wow, that would be really far in the future, I think. I mean, I definitely have all of my recipes in a binder, but sitting down and typing them all up and getting creative enough to make a really exciting cookbook for someone would be an undertaking. Maybe when my boys get a little older, I would consider that.
Oh, I think it would be so great.
Yeah.
We should get that ball rolling for you. Let's add something else to your daily life.
One more job.
Let's do that. Well, that is awesome. And thank you so much for coming in. Sugar High, how do we find you?
I have a website. It's www.sugarhighcolorado.com. And it has all my menus for all of my different cakes, pies, cheesecakes, tarts. And you can call me. My phone number is 970-376-7106. And I have an email, alexhyde99@aol.com. I would ask, though, that if you were calling to order anything or if you're looking at my website and you do want to order anything, please give me at least 3 or 4 days notice because I get really backed up. Since I am a one-man show, I need several days notice for an order. But I'd love to hear from anybody.
And you do birthdays, just cakes for all needs, weddings, birthdays, all of it.
Absolutely. I don't do the tiered traditional wedding cake, but I do unusual wedding cakes, which is kind of fun. People that are looking for something a little different, which around here, you find that very often. So
yeah,
absolutely.
That's true. Well, thank you so much. And I love being able to highlight female entrepreneurs in the Valley and just women that are doing really cool things. So thank you again for your time.
Thank you, Gabri.
You're welcome. And this is Gem Radio, radio for women, by women. You're listening to Gem Radio. Check out our Facebook page at Gem Radio.